It all began in 1892. The equipment may look different and the names change, but the rivalry remains the same. From its roots at Piedmont Park in Atlanta to Athens and Auburn, legendary coaches, college football's greatest players, magical moments etched in history, unleashing the emotions of the Deep South's oldest rivalry. It's Go Dogs. It's War Eagle. It's Georgia and Auburn for the 124th time. And with that, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to Pat Dye Field, Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, where the Tigers, ranked 12th, host the 4th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Beautiful day, packed house in mid-November for a crucial game in the SEC. As you look at the SEC East, Florida kept their East hopes alive in the game you just saw. Georgia, with a win today, can punch their ticket to Atlanta to the SEC title game should they win. In the West, it's LSU's to lose. Alabama won a game and lost a quarterback. But boy, can Auburn make some noise about the college football playoff picture if they win today and continue to roll as they did a couple of years ago. Welcome, everybody. Brad Nussler, Gary Danielson, Jamie O'Donnell will join us shortly. Kind of that same feel, partner, from 2 years ago, a little bit.
I think the same, and it's not just Auburn in this game trying to spoil Georgia or Alabama in a couple weeks. It's the fact that they believe if they win, they can still get in the playoffs.
Well, you know, if you want 1,100 yards of offense and 87 points like we had last week with LSU and Alabama, you probably don't want to watch this.
It could literally be a game you wouldn't even have to watch the football and have a lot of fun watching this football game. Two of the best interior lines for Georgia. They're built right across that front. Andrew Thomas, Solomon Kinley, Trey Hill, Cade Mays, Isaiah Wilson. They are huge, the backbone of that Georgia football team. But this defensive line and the two stars, number 5, Derek Brown, number 3, Marlon Davidson, that is where the game will be won.
So close, these two old rivals, 59, 56, and 8. Georgia with a 3-game lead. It was horrible weather-wise Thursday and Friday in Auburn. Today, picture perfect. Georgia won the toss and deferred. So the Auburn Tigers will get the football first in front of their sellout crowd. Rodrigo Blankenship's got it teed up for the Dogs. And we're underway in the Plains. And Auburn will go to work at the 25-yard line. Let's take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And it all starts with a quarterback. And for the first time in what seems like forever, Georgia is facing a starting quarterback. And he's the true freshman, Bo Nix. And he is sensational at home. Not so good on the road. We saw the 2 losses they had. The noise got to him, at Florida especially. But he's a very cool customer for his age. DJ Williams will start in the backfield. At tailback with Nix. And a quick throw out in the flat to Eli Stove. And Stove with a quick 14-yard pickup.
2 years ago in this game, Eli Stove had a big game on the ground, 4 carries for 55 yards. That was just like a rushing play.
And they go with a tempo immediately. And now it is DJ Williams. Got about 4 before the Georgia defense can knock him down. As we set the Auburn offense for you. A guy that we expect to have a say in this. J.J. Wilson, kind of a tight end H-back. Going to play more of a wide receiver role today for Gus Malzahn's offense.
And he's in the game now.
Nix calmly throws and tried to get it to Wilson.
See, that's the question I have. Wilson, his first game at wide receiver. He's basically been playing H-back. He's taken Sal Canella's spot in that slot position, but you can see the timing right there was really off.
He goes out now to the top of your screen.
And now let's see the Georgia defense if they can put pressure. 23 sacks Auburn's given up this year.
Auburn got their last 3rd down pickup. This one's 3rd down and 10. Nix Wanted to throw the slant, now scrambles to try to find a receiver. Found one short of the first down is Seth Williams by about 3 yards.
I think they're going to go for it here, though. Let's just see if they get a quick snap for Auburn, because they have Georgia substituting, but they don't, even at a near hash. You know, now that it's 4th and 3 or 4, no element of surprise. You know, 2 40-yard field goals they kicked last week. This is within range.
It is. 48 is his long this year, Anders Carlson. This one's going to be from about 47.
Yeah, when everything was mumble-jumble, that's kind of their offense, keeping Georgia off balance with the speed and tempo. But now he said, second look here, let's go field goal attempt.
So on the 10th play of the drive, Anders Carlson from 47. Georgia still hasn't allowed an opening possession score. Georgia will take over after the missed field goal.
Interesting, I was out there at practice Thursday and noticed that they line up their kicker 8 yards back, and I asked Carlson why, and he said penetration up the middle, and they got penetration up the middle. Instead of normally a team will go 7, they go 8 for that extra yard of distance. Might have got blocked though.
So Georgia takes over, first down. Jake Fromm, DeAndre Swift in the Dogs backfield from the 29. And it is DeAndre Swift, and they only got about one. KJ Britt, a middle linebacker, in on the stops. We take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, and it starts with number 11. 2-1 record against Auburn. You're saying, wait a minute, he's a junior. How'd he play that many games? They played 2 within a month. The SEC championship game a couple of years ago after the regular season loss here. Here's the rest of the offense for the Dogs, and Andrew Thomas and Isaiah Wilson. The 2 big tackles will have their hands full today with Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson and Big Cat Bryant and that group up front for Auburn. 2nd and 9. And it's Swift trying to get to the corner. Run out of bounds after a short gain. It'll bring up 3rd down against the Auburn defense. That looks like this. And a guy has already made a tackle. He makes a lot of them behind that big front wall. KJ Britt, middle linebacker. Georgia 47% on their 3rd downs.
And this is where Kevin Steele, coordinator for Auburn, brings in his 6 defensive backs. He used 7 of them against LSU, but Georgia only deserves 6. They're passing back.
We expect Georgia's first pass to the ball game from Jake Fromm. Has time, plenty of it, and had to come back to his check down, and it's DeAndre Swift who lost about 3.
That's the game plan. Auburn uses a 3-man line. They get a 4th rusher when they bring Papo number 10, a linebacker type, to get their 4th player coming in. But man-to-man, they're going to play man-to-man all day against the receivers from Georgia.
So the first punt from Jake Camarda with Christian Tutt waiting back on the other end.
Beauty.
Tutt looks up in the sun and lets it sail. It bounces inside the 10. Can Georgia get to it? Yes, they can. At about the 2-yard line.
Didn't even need to get to it. It stopped right there.
The long snapper got down there to down it after a 67-yard punt from Jake Camarda. The Bulldogs have Auburn buried near their own goal line for their 2nd offensive set.
We sat down with Bo Nix this week in preparation of this game, and I found myself reminding several times this young man is just 19 years old, but he has a personality that's wise beyond his years. He's also the son of a former Auburn quarterback, and even though it's his destiny to play here, that doesn't negate the fact that he is a freshman quarterback navigating Auburn through an absolute gauntlet of his schedule. And Nix has taken his lumps away from Jordan Hare. He's been unable to eclipse 180 passing yards against top 10 teams so far, and those games were all on the road. But he's found a comfort and a rhythm here that is unmatched, and it couldn't come at a better time, guys.
He's going to need it from the 2-yard line, Jamie. In his own end zone to throw. The slant is complete, and just like that to Seth Williams, who's got him out of trouble.
How about that? True freshman quarterback, but it's not the same one you saw, or we saw, games ago. Now he's a veteran. In fact, Gus told us yesterday he didn't even count him as a true freshman anymore.
Here he is on the ground, a sidearm throw. It might have been a lateral. Let's see, it's just incomplete. And they're taking a look at that, I think.
That's the famous Nick Marshall touchdown pass against Alabama years ago that changed football almost. Late. Doesn't matter how many linemen are downfield. They're actually way down for Harrell. Is almost 5 yards downfield on that play.
They just call it incomplete, 2nd down and 10. From the 13. Play action quick. Wide receiver screen. Only about a 2-yard gain for Eli Stove. And it brings up 3rd and long. Devontae Wyatt had that sniffed out along with Ojulari.
Did notice that Tyson Campbell is suffering all year with that turf tours in the game, starting for DJ Daniel. Daniel's been the starter lately. Now then the nickel set, but that means Stokes and Campbell are the 2 corners, starting corners.
Will Hastings in motion across the field. Georgia jumps and gets back.
I'm surprised that Auburn didn't move there. They could have got an easy 5 yards by just reacting to that play, one of the offensive linemen.
Yeah, I would imagine Jack Driscoll would have dropped, but instead the throw on a crossing route, and this one is going nowhere, courtesy of Richard LeCount, who tackled him twice. Actually didn't get him down the first time. 4th down.
Well, I think it was a good decision by Gus Malzahn. A very safe 3rd and long down call here. You don't want to put your quarterback. Get 1st down throw is something different. But on 3rd and long against his defense that rushes well, 5 or 6 defensive backs on the field, I think that's a good call on 3rd and long.
Georgia should get good field position out of this. Aaron Sipoff's punt. Dominique Blaylock standing back around midfield. Has to backpedal back to the 39. Nifty catch, actually, just to get that one, and he's run out of bounds immediately. Still good field position for Georgia on their 2nd offensive possession. Midway through the 1st quarter, no score here at Auburn. Thanks. No score here with 7:18 remaining in the 1st quarter. Georgia back on offense. Kind of flipped the field a little bit, that 67-yard punt, and then Auburn having to punt back. Kirby Smart this week has preached composure to his team. He felt like a couple of years ago here before the SEC title game, in the regular season game, that they were a little too emotional.
Yeah, but with this field position, let's see how aggressive they will be here. You know, they only rushed 2 years ago in this game for 46 yards. I wonder if they'll let Jake Fromm throw it around a little bit more.
Either Jake's going to run it or James Cook's going to join him in the backfield. On 1st down, it will be the quick throw and a completion out to the 45 to Lawrence Cager, his favorite target. And we look back to 2 years ago. Here's what we're talking about. Penalties like late hits. And that one on after a punt. Sony Michel guilty of that. They fumbled the ball away. They muffed punts. Just all part of not being focused and being composed.
Yeah, I thought they were too fired up for the game.
I think so, yeah.
Came in number 1, you know, and need to control their emotions is what he told us on the phone last night. Hopes that his team learned a lesson in that trip here 2 years ago.
Brian Herring in the backfield for Georgia on a 2nd down and 4, gets the call and gets the 1st down. I've said this before, but you get so wrapped up in DeAndre Swift and company, you forget how really good Brian Herring is.
Yeah, and you know, these 2nd and short is something you feel good about trying to make, but I tell you, 2 years, just a difference in home fields. Last year, Georgia rushed for 303 yards.
Yep.
2 years ago here, they rushed for 46. And by the way, they had Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, and DeAndre Swift for 46 yards.
Yeah. Elijah Holyfield was just standing on the sideline.
Yes.
On 1st down, Fromm gonna go deep. Got a man out there and got him. Dominique Blaylock, touchdown. On the score.
How aggressive would they allow Jake to be? Well, we've got our answer. Again, here's Blaylock. Here's the coverage right there. Playing off outside technique, poor technique. No safety in the middle of the field. He just runs right by Tut. And inside those big guys we talked about, can they hold it and give them time? Look at that. 3 or 4 yards of space to stop up and throw the ball.
Rodrigo Blankenship's 187th consecutive extra point is good. And Georgia strikes in a hurry. 61 yards in 3 plays. The big one, Jake Fromm's 14th touchdown pass of the year to Dominique Blaylock, and it's 7-0 Dogs. Jake Fromm moving up the charts. Got a way to go. Nobody's going to catch Aaron Murray, I don't think, our comrade here at CBS. But Jake now with 68 touchdown passes, just past Eric Zier, who's over in the Georgia radio booth on the all-time list. And it was a pretty one.
Even if he came back another year, you'd have to have a Heisman plus year to catch Aaron Murray.
That's right. And for Dominique Blaylock, his 4th receiving touchdown of the year.
I noticed that Derek Brown, as we look at this kickoff, went up to the official afterwards saying he was held. Take one more look at that pass protection after this kickoff. Boy, you try to think about what is Auburn trying to establish here. You know, they've thrown 11 passes already in the game. Do they think they can't run the ball? Because right now it's slants and nothing.
Georgia's #1 in the SEC in run defense. They give up about 4 yards there to bring the first quarter to a close. Jordan Davis on the tackle on Boobie Whitlow. So we played 15 on the Plains at Jordan-Hare Stadium at the end of the first quarter with a score. Georgia Bulldogs 7, Auburn Tigers nothing. We'll return to Auburn after this message and a word from your local station. We are back to start the second quarter at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Low-scoring game, kind of like what we expected so far. Georgia with one explosive play, the 51-yard touchdown from Jake Fromm. And now Bo Nix. Schwartz with a first down. Schwartz, a guy they would love to get in some space. He is the fastest guy in football.
Funny, we went out to practice and I saw Big Cat. Remember, we had his act. And I said, Big Cat, you been working on that? And he just had a big sheepish smile right there.
First down, Auburn at the 44. Nix, straight drop, now rolls to throw and incomplete. Intended for Canella. And it was DJ Daniel over there covering for Georgia.
That's the problem for Auburn. We showed you the 2 safeties, LeCount and J.R. Reed, number 20, are lining up about 12 yards deep and daring Auburn to run the ball.
Here comes a blitz from the secondary. Nix throws complete to Hastings. And Will Hastings close to a first down.
This is where Auburn likes to go fast, 3rd and short.
They're hustling up, that's for sure. Less than a yard to go. And they get the first down with Whitlow on the ground. Michael Barnett looking upset that they weren't able to stand him up and keep him from moving the chains.
Well, you can see that Georgia is ready for this hurry up. They faced it, Kirby, for years, faced it as the defensive coordinator for Alabama. They're used to Gus's, the matchup, Kirby's defense against Gus's offense. They are ready for each other.
First down for Auburn. Nix almost looked to the sideline and didn't see the snap, and now he's going to go deep for Schwartz. And in out of his hands, Daniel got a hand in there at the last moment.
Well, if you saw last week's game when LSU stole the touchdown against Alabama did, Auburn did the same thing. They looked to the sideline and quick snapped it and tried to get Schwartz deep. Remember the Alabama play, they tried to steal one and actually got a touchdown against Derek Stingley on the end, Devontae Smith. Same play, they looked to the sideline and quick snap it, almost got it.
John Shivers in the backfield, and it's Bo Nix on a quarterback run.
So that's what I think they got to do right there. I don't think they have any choice. without involving the quarterback in the run game, as you see the wraparound by Mike Horton coming in there to get the key block, I don't think they have enough rush offense to take the pressure off Bo Nix in the passing game.
Third and 9. Nix fires complete to Schwartz, and it's good for a first down.
The speed route from their slot receiver. He's got an off inside technique, throws it to the outside, and Schwartz puts up both hands and gets the first down.
At the 44, now they go quickly, and it's Nix on the keeper. He lost the ball. Might be Georgia. Nix had a second chance at it, but I think it slipped away. Jermaine Johnson might be on the bottom of that pile. Richard LeCount's down there, and LeCount's got the ball. Johnson's the guy that caused it. LeCount covered it.
Run the quarterback would have been successful, but just the reach out just enough by Johnson to poke that ball loose right on the football, and that popped it out. I do not like quarterbacks carrying their ball in the non-dominant hand. They do not practice it. We saw it last week with Tua. He had it in his right arm. I think when you're a right-handed player, as a passer, keep it in your right hand. You don't practice running the ball with your non-dominant hand.
Well, that just squashed an impressive march for Auburn, finally getting something going on offense, and it's a turnover.
And plus, now Georgia gets the ball to start the second half. This could be the dreaded 2-for-1.
They've got 3:18 to work and 2 timeouts.
Pressure on this Auburn defense.
Draw play, DeAndre Swift. Little hesitation, and Brick brings him down after the pickup of a couple.
They cannot, this defense cannot allow this game to get out of hand right now. They know their offense is going to struggle to get to 20 points.
And they don't want Georgia to get to 14 by halftime.
Exactly.
Jake Fromm will be under center on 2nd down and 8. Charlie Warner, the tight end, moves into the slot on the right. It's Swift. Tough 3 more.
You know, on the other side of the page here for Georgia, even getting a long field goal attempt, make it 10-0 is big for Georgia. In a scoring game where your defense is handling the Auburn offense, you get it more than 1 score, you start to feel good.
Well, you were talking about what do you do with Bo Nix when you got a guy that is in his 38th straight start at quarterback. Unleash Jake Fromm. You got it.
Oh, yeah, you trust Jake Fromm. There's no doubt about that.
3rd and 5. It'll be Jake all by his lonesome in the Georgia backfield. Fromm throws, almost picked off. Nice play by Javaris Davis.
Wow, number 3 for 13. Javaris Davis does a wonderful. He takes the chance. He undercuts the throw. Get in there, get it, and go for it. He didn't worry about the tackle. He had a running back, by the way. That time he felt confident having Harrion instead of a wide receiver. He didn't take a half step back. I actually thought Swift on the other side had a better matchup. I'm surprised that on that play Fromm went with that matchup. That was not a good matchup.
So Auburn got the stop it needed. 3 straight 3-and-outs for Georgia.
That was almost Auburn's best drive. Well,
fielded at the 6-yard line by Tutt. Coming back the other way. Christian Tutt knocked out of bounds, but a good return. He got it out around the 27 or 28-yard line.
This is where I think, you know, if you're Auburn, you don't want to make a mistake like Alabama made at the end of the half right here. Get a screen pass, get something safe, get it up a little bit farther.
Nix looking right all the way, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Will Hastings. Brings up 2nd and 10.
That was another good throw by Bo right there to the outside. Matched up to the outside on a safety. Could have had it.
And Again, they got J.J. Wilson, the big receiver, slotted to the left side there. On 2nd and 10. Nix wanting to throw right, goes that way, but it's too far in front of Seth Williams. Incomplete. Coming up, Adam, Kevin Carter, and BJ will have first half analysis, scores, and highlights on the Geico halftime report. Zook and the guys will have more on Tua Tagovailoa, what they know and what they've heard on his injury today.
I think the crowd is reacting to whether he caught this ball or not. Will there be a replay? We've got a big enough screen to look at it.
The fans do. 3rd and 10 from the 29. Nix, quick throw, too high. Is it picked off by Daniel?
I think it skipped.
And it did, but Georgia gets the stop.
Yeah, that's the disaster play for your Auburn right there. You make a mistake down this side of the field, this game could go to 14 easily. Overthrow and skips off the ground.
Yep, one hopper. So Zip-Offs to punt again.
Still plenty of time and 2 timeouts left. Nice catch.
High snap, got it away. Good kick. Fair catch way back around the 19-yard line by Dominic Blaylock. So Georgia with 1:19 to go in the half. Let's see if Georgia plays it conservatively or not from inside their own 20.
I wonder if they could get a little screen pass to Swift and give him some space here.
They haven't really got him in space yet.
No.
Or he hasn't gotten himself in space on the ground game. He'll try here. And got almost 5. Arlen Davidson in on the tackle, big number 3. It's funny to watch that defensive front. Davidson number 3 and Brown number 5 and Big Cat Bryant number 1. All those 300-pounders wearing single digits. 1:12 remaining first half. Georgia 7-0.
I would have just let Georgia do what they want. This could turn into something bad.
Here's a pitch. DeAndre Swift. Swift into the secondary this time, out to the 40.
I think it's too much of a gamble. A field goal is so big in this part of the game. I would have let Georgia make the decision. I didn't want to stop the clock if I'm Auburn.
DeAndre Swift's best run of the day, 16-yard pickup to the 40. And now Fromm looking to throw and hit the knee, I think, of his intended receiver, Kyrus Jackson.
And penalty. It's going to be pass interference.
On McCreary?
Yep. Got his jersey. Yes, easy call.
Pass interference, number 23, the defense. The penalty places the ball at the spot of the foul with automatic first down.
Right, here's the gamble that Gus made. He thought he could get a 3 and out again. Okay, so now he gives Georgia, with time to go still in this game, a minute and 2 timeouts.
And
they can run anything they want.
And a pretty good kicker.
Yes.
1 minute remaining in the half. Dogs from their own 47. From throws complete. Out of bounds. Kyrus Jackson. Same guy, same target. This time a catch.
Well, Kyrus Jackson was injured earlier with a hand injury. Has come back now. And they seem to have found a matchup they like over there with McCreary. Short side of the field. He plays boundary corner. That's where he lines up. They're going away from number 13, Davis. They're going at McCreary.
Draw play. DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is Swift and almost took it.
There's his patented move, too. When he breaks the line of scrimmage, he aggressively goes to his right and then plants that foot and cuts. He's as good as there is at it. Boom, right there. Barely touched.
Georgia in the red zone now, knocking on the door after a 26-yard carry by Swift. From out wide side completes. Demetrius Robertson.
Well, just think, if Gus had not taken a timeout, there still could be, 8-10 seconds. Now there's plenty of time.
Second down at 4 at the Brian Herrien with Fromm in the Georgia backfield.
They can run the ball here. 2 timeouts left.
Demetrius Robertson in motion. Fromm going to throw it to Herrien on the corner. Close to a first down. I don't think he got it, though.
This whole drive, except for the swift run right up the middle, the whole drive had been into the short side of the field. They've gone from the left hash all the way down the field.
We got somebody hurt on the sideline, and that's not a good sign, as Herrien was knocked out of bounds. Meanwhile, back to the 5-yard line, 3rd down and 1. Georgia now shifts and puts Wolf in the backfield with Herrien. Fromm under center. Play fake. Fromm's going to loft it to Herrien. Brian Herrien. Touchdown, Georgia. Five-yard scoring toss, and Georgia does get a touchdown before halftime.
Well, Auburn stopped them once, but then they got the ball back too quickly. Gus Malzahn calls a timeout, and that timeout allows Georgia to do whatever they want. They could throw the ball short, they could run the ball, and it was too much for this defense, and that changes a lot. You just wonder if Gus, knowing that Georgia was getting the ball to start the second half, he tried to steal a possession, and it might have cost him big time.
Rodrigo Blankenship in for the point after. Up and good. Touchdowns. Jake Fromm, 2 scoring tosses through 2 quarters. And Kirby Smart's defense has done a remarkable job again through a half of play. Let's check in with Jamie.
Coach, why do you call the timeout the first one in that last series?
Yeah, we were trying to get the ball back, and of course they went down and scored. You know, that was a tough one.
Why so discombobulated on offense? Where's the disconnect?
Well, you know, we just got to get some rhythm. We got to run the football. You know, they give them credit. They're a good defense, but we'll come out in the second half. We'll run the football and get some play action going.
Coach, thanks.
Their top rusher at halftime is their quarterback with 20 yards. That's not going to do it against a Georgia defense that's #1 in the conference against the run. End of the first half, 14-0. The Dogs out in front as we head to Adam Zucker and the guys in our New York studio. Zuck. Just about set to start the 3rd quarter here in Auburn, Alabama, with Georgia leading the Tigers 14-0. And back to football, a half to go here, and a half for Auburn to try to get something in
They're
gear.
not used to it. Things happen fast on that sideline.
No doubt about it. So Georgia to get the ball first, and the aforementioned Brian Herrien, one of the guys back for the Dogs. And he'll let this one go in the corner of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Welcome back to the booth. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Well, partner, going to the break. Gus Malzahn told Jamie, we got to run the football.
Right.
They got to get somebody other than their quarterback to run.
And you made the point that most of their running yards have come from Bo Nix. I don't know if they're going to have that choice. I think they just might have to drop back 25 more times. They threw 25 in the first half. I don't see how they're going to run enough yards to get this game that way.
Especially with Georgia now with that 2-touchdown.
I think they need to throw some deep 50-50 balls and try to get a big play.
So Georgia starts at the 25. DeAndre Swift behind Jake Fromm.
And before they do that, they better not let Georgia score any more points.
Exactly. Kieris Jackson goes out to the top of the screen. The throw is to Demetrius Robertson on a wideout screen going nowhere. Nice job by Jeremiah Denson to make the tackle. First half game trends. Jake Fromm only 91 yards, but 2 of them were touchdowns. 51-5. Bo Nix passing and rushing has been the majority of the Auburn offense, and DeAndre Swift has gone over 1,000 yards rushing on the season with those 2 carries on that last drive that were the majority of that drive before the touchdown pass. Second and 9. Here is DeAndre Swift out to the 31. Denson again in on the tackle.
You run behind that mass of humanity. This time it'll be Thomas and Kinley. Tackle and guard. Boom. They get it off the line of scrimmage, then fit the linebacker. You get those big guys rolling up there and just taking positive yards.
And that front group averages 6'5", 328.
And it gets to be 3rd and manageable.
Auburn defense would love a stop to open the 3rd quarter.
In modern college football, DeAndre Swift is going to be the widest guy on the field now.
3rd and 4. Fromm looking the other way. The throw is knocked away by Roger McCreary. They picked on him a couple of times, but that time he was equal to the task.
You really can't blame him for going back there, right? You got to say, let's see if you can stop it. It's got D. Robertson, holds him a bit, but makes the play.
Might have got a little face mask.
Well, I thought he grabbed his arm a little bit, but he got away with it.
So Auburn got what they needed. 3 and out. Jake Kamar to the punt. That's Christian Tight back at the 20-yard line for Auburn. Got a little bump on Camarda after the punt, but no flag, and that one sails out of bounds.
Well, you might as well rush him, because if you give him time, he's been killing it with his punts.
That one went out at about the 35-yard line, so it's pretty good field position for Auburn on offense. They haven't had great field position today. Oldest rivalry in the Deep South. Auburn, I said going to the break, has not had good field position today. This is their best starting field position at the 35-yard line.
When are they going to throw a deep ball in this game? Are they going to throw one 30-40 yards and try to get a jump ball or something?
Nix throws the slant again. That's been their bread and butter, and Seth Williams has been the guy that he's thrown most of them to.
That's been their bread, butter, dessert, coffee.
Those two last things are yours, coffee and dessert. You just try to get the rest of the meal out of the way so you can have the dessert.
Right.
2nd down and 3. DJ Williams carrying Monty Rice for a yard, but comes up short. And it'll be 3rd down. And the last time Auburn came back from 14+ down, 2010 at Alabama, there was a pretty special player in that one.
That was the Cam Master at Alabama.
The Cam back.
Yep.
3rd and 1. Nix going to throw on the run to Schwartz, and he got just enough.
And you're saying, you know, the more you watch this Georgia defense, the more you say, boy, what don't they do well?
Yeah.
I mean, they tackle well, they pursue, they're tough up the middle, they play 9 defensive inside tackles, nose tackles, they stay fresh. Man, they are a solid defense.
1st down at the 46. Williams straight up the middle. And again, he's carrying Monty Rice with him. DJ Williams getting a little warmed up, the freshman.
DJ, the first time we really saw him pop, as you're watching, look at the numbers for the Georgia D, was that long run against LSU.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yep. As you see, Georgia's good in just about every category nationally, and obviously leading the SEC in overall defense and run defense.
And the question was, as we talked earlier, was it because they didn't play elite talent, no quarterbacks? But you can see, whoever they play is going to be a tussle with this defense. They run too well.
2nd and 3, number 3 for the 1st down, DJ Williams.
So now they're back in that territory when Bo Nix had the fumble. Maybe the key play for Auburn's offense in the first half. You're almost wondering, with 14-0 right now, you have to put some points on the board. I think if it's anything less than 4th and 3, Gus will say, do I go for it? But the last time he tried it, he lose 13 yards on the play?
Yeah, he did. Georgia was a little discombobulated defensively on who should and should not be on the field. Schwartz in motion, they fake it to him. Nix finally going to throw deep, and Williams is out of bounds.
Yeah, you got to keep it on the field. And that's your ball to Seth Williams, where most of the time it's a 50-50 ball. Seth Williams is the guy that caught the pass against Oregon.
Yep.
But you got to give him a chance to catch it in bounds.
Well, it was pretty good coverage by Eric Stokes anyway, right there with him. And Bo knows.
Yeah, Bo knows, but in that situation, you keep it on the field, I don't even think it's 50-50. It's, 70-30 advantage offense.
DJ Williams back in the Auburn backfield. He's had some nice runs so far today. 2nd and 10 here from the 43. And now they're going back the other way to Williams, incomplete. And Tyson Campbell covering. Fans booing, wanting an interference on Tyson Campbell.
In phase. I didn't see much. I got to be honest. He didn't grab him. He had his hands on him.
A little hand fighting.
Yes, but did not turn him.
3rd and 10. Is Auburn going to waste the good field position if they don't pick up a first down here? Here comes the pressure. Nix felt it. And from behind, he goes down. The man that brought the heat stayed with it. Tyreek Stevenson.
Tyreek Stevenson is one of those hybrid nickel players that comes in. Comes from the secondary. He blitz. As Ness said, he saw him first, and he avoids him. He said he feels him, but he doesn't feel him the second time, does he? He's very fortunate he didn't fumble the ball.
That is some stick-to-itiveness right there for number 7. And it'll force a punt.
He's one of those guys where you look at the nickel package, you go, okay, where does 7 play? It's like, there's like, 11 guys that come in different situations that aren't starters.
Zipah's punt. High hanger. Blaylock lets it go, fakes the catch, and it goes out of bounds around the 12 or 13-yard line on the far side. He doesn't like that one as good as his previous attempts. Love it when somebody comes up with a big play on defense. The Dogs did there. Brad Nessler, Gary Anderson, Jamie Ordahl, our CBS crew, and about 87,500 of our closest friends here in the Plains.
Just feels so different than last touchdown before the half. This was, exchange of punts, field position, 7-0, you're gripping, okay? 14-0 just feels like Georgia can say, okay, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Until you show us you can move the ball, why should we take chances?
A little better field position than last time for the Bulldogs at their own 12-yard line. Demetrius Robertson in motion. DeAndre Swift with the handle. Dives forward for a couple as we check in with Jamie.
Well, coaching trees always connect players and coaches as they move through the ranks. Well, there's a connection between Bo Nix and Jake Fromm, and it goes all the way up to Bo Nix's grandfather, Conrad. He coached Jake Fromm's high school coach, and they worked together. And I went to speak with this gentleman before the game. I said, what is it that these two have that brings them together? He said they both have that it factor, and I know we see that when we meet with them.
And they've gotten together a few times, just throw the football in the backyard. DeAndre Swift for the first down run.
Yeah. 2 plays for a first down. Trying to keep the good field position in here. You're trying to keep this in position so your offense can get back in the game. Derek Brown taking this, at least the start of this series, off to get him some rest.
They've been out there a lot. Georgia taking its time as we approach 5.5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. As Gary said, no rush, and you don't have to do anything big, especially if you can keep it on the ground and keep moving the chains. That's what they'll try to do here. Toss sweep. DeAndre Swift only got about a yard that time. DeAndre Swift, as we mentioned, over 1,000 yards, back-to-back seasons. That's some pretty good company. The other guys that have done that in the annals of Georgia rushing history.
Good names.
Yeah, Herschel tops the list. 3 for 3 for Herschel. 3 years, 3 gigantic years. And he's at 98, so almost 100 for Swift. On top of that 1,000 for the season. Harrian's in there in his spot right now. 2nd down and 9. And there's Brian Harrian trying to get it wide. Davidson trying to track him down and can't. Well, he'll make the tackle, but not before he got to the 40-yard line.
Got to give him all the credit in the world.
I think.
Yes, it is.
And
exactly.
Harrian's shaken up.
And that's how I broke my ankle, with a horse collar. Somebody comes
personal foul.
Pull you back. They
legal horse collar tackle of number 3 of the defense. This is a 15-yard penalty. It forced at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Very dangerous play because they stop the runner's momentum, but the defender actually gets a boost on the play. And watch him fall on him from behind. Get your ankle trapped. That's exactly how it happened.
Meanwhile, Georgia's at the 45-yard line of Auburn with a first down.
4 straight runs. You got the feeling the play action pass is coming.
Zamir White, he's in the backfield. Will get the carry for a couple. And again, when you talk about the Georgia backfield and Harrion being a key part of it behind DeAndre Swift, as you take another look at that tackle by Davidson and an ugly landing by Brian Harrion, the good thing for Georgia is they do have depth at tailback, including Zamir White and James Cook. But this guy's really valuable. Of course, he had the touchdown right before halftime on the reception. So Zamir White's going to get a lot more snaps. And the guy they call Zeus is in there right now.
Yeah, and Brown and Davidson not in the game on a key drive. It feels like a field goal is going to be the end of it for Auburn.
There's the end around off the play fake. Kearis Jackson, good speed and a good first down run. They'll move the chains again. Well-designed play and runs beautifully.
And a great block off the edge that time by Andrew Thomas, number 71. He held his block for about 4 seconds on that reverse. And big Derek Brown goes in.
Georgia's loving what's going on here. They can use the clock. It's down under 3.5. They're in field goal range already, and they've got a 2-touchdown lead. They've run it 6 times. They'll run it again. Zamir White. And he gets inside the 30, taking Daniel Thomas with it.
Watch Andrew Thomas here, the left tackle, how long he holds his block on this play. Comes out to the second level, engages with the linebackers, Jacoby McClain, number 35, and holds that block the whole way.
Considered one of the best left tackles in college football. Showing you why there.
Yeah, number 3 and number 5 are in, and they got to play. They have to get a stop here. A tackle for a loss would be huge for Auburn right here.
2nd down and 5 for Georgia. James Cook, who I just mentioned earlier, in the lineup at tailback. He'll get the carry, and he's met at the line of scrimmage by Derek Brown and KJ Britt.
Right in the middle of it. Takes on Solomon Chenley, throws him away, just threw him away.
He just one-armed a 335-pound guard.
I want to circle it for our viewers one more time. Just after even this play. Oh my goodness. Keep your eye on this guy right here. Just toss away a 320, throw him away and make the tackle. What a play.
3rd down and 4. Georgia. Fromm finally set to throw one on this series. Completes it to Robertson. 1st down inside the 20.
Interesting. Robertson's coming across to pick on the play. There's no one to pick, so he just continues on. Watch. Pick. Nope. Okay, look for the ball. And he gets right through on that play. Christian Tuck actually ran into the umpire on the play.
And he was looking at him like, hey, nice block.
Exactly.
1st down, Georgia. 8 runs in that 1 pass.
And if you're James Coley, offensive coordinator right here, I'm sure Kirby is telling James Coley, we've got 3 in our pocket. Make sure that what you call does not lose 3 points.
1st down at the 15. Throwing back shoulder. Oh my goodness, did he catch that? Kearis Jackson, touchdown Georgia. Wow.
Well, there was 2 defenders back there, Smoke Monday and Roger McCreary. Is he in? Oh, I don't think so.
Where's the ball at that point?
Yeah, but his toe was on the line.
Now here's a good look from Pylon Cam.
Watch his right toe. His left toe, rather. That's going to be out.
After video review, it's an incomplete pass. The receiver was able to control the ball in the air, but first stepped out of bounds. The ball will be placed back at the previous spot, the 15-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 10.
It was close, but I think this is the right call. Well, we saw just see his toe just graze and then down.
So you kind of saw Kearis Jackson next to Jake Fromm nodding his head as if to say, well, let's just go get the next one.
It was well executed, I'll say that.
11th play of the drive coming up. Bulldogs 2nd down and 10. Auburn fans trying to give their defense some life to at least force a field goal. So we've only got 16 minutes of regulation left to play. Jake Fromm trying to be heard. DeAndre Swift has to get the last word from his quarterback. Auburn's going to bring the heat. Here they come. Fromm lofts it to the corner, and this one's knocked away. Nice play by Roger McCreary.
Well, you could see what the veteran Jake Fromm was doing there and why he's only been sacked
player on the
5
ground.
times this
Number
year.
1 of the defense. The penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
So a huge penalty on Auburn just when they had Georgia at 3rd and 10. And that'll upset your stomach if you're the head coach.
Okay, big cat right in front of him.
It was the second
and then he
move.
throws on him. Yes, then he dives on it. He felt he was being held on the play by Charlie Werner, number 89, and he lost his cool.
First and goal. DeAndre Swift. His spin move didn't work that time.
Smoke Monday. Smoked him. Holy cow. The sophomore playing behind Daniel Thomas and Jeremiah Dinson, the 2 seniors. He'll be playing safety next year. And watch, oh man.
DeAndre Swift just hit 100 yards on the day, and he hit Smoke Monday on a Saturday.
Holy cow.
No Sean Moreno, the last guy to have 2 straight 100 pluses against Auburn. Second and goal. Georgia 2 tight end set. Swift behind Fromm. Play action. Jake lofts it to the corner. Touchdown, Eli Wolf. Much like the Florida completion that ended that game, this one ends in a touchdown.
Nice little design play this time. Eli Wolf is going to engage. Watch him engage and then fall out. Allows the receivers to get past him and then falls out into the play. A little bit like Harrien's touchdown, only from a different position.
Right. So 2 huge catches by that guy this year to end the Florida game and now to give Georgia a 3-touchdown lead. Rodrigo Blankenship for the point after. Up and perfect. And it's going to be a long climb back for the Tigers of Auburn with 13 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Georgia just capped an 88-yard drive in 13 plays with Jake Fromm's 3rd touchdown pass of the day. When you got 170 yards of total offense, which is what Auburn's at right now, this is going to be a struggle.
Yeah, and I really go back that they had a couple of opportunities. You don't have that many. The Bo Nix fumble and the ill-timed timeout by Gus to give them 1 more 30 seconds in the half.
Whoa. Maybe got 2.
For many years of playing in Detroit, taking a knee at halftime or running a play into the middle at the end of the quarter is bad strategy.
And thus you heard a little bit of booing in the background.
Exactly.
That's the end of 3. Georgia's 15 minutes away from a date in the SEC championship game in almost their home turf of Atlanta. 21-0. We'll return to Auburn right after this message and a word from your local station. 15 minutes remaining in regulation from the Plains at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. And the Tigers in some trouble right now, trailing by 3 touchdowns. And a 2nd down and 9 from the 26 to open quarter number 3. Empty backfield for Bo Nix. Nix throws out in the flat, compete to Seth Williams. Another catch for him. And trying to fight for a 1st down. He might get there, and I think he's going to.
Close.
So that's a good way to start the 3rd quarter as we welcome you back to the booth. In the short-term picture here, Auburn's got 15 minutes to try to do something about it. And Georgia's side of things in the big picture,
They're looking pretty
good, right?
In the bigger picture than that, right now it hurts Oregon more than anyone. This blowout right here on the home field by this Georgia team. Remember, Auburn beat Oregon on a neutral field. The biggest picture is this is really good news for the SEC. Keeping 2 teams alive in the argument.
And remember, Georgia came in and are right now ranked number 4, and they're certainly going to solidify their spot A lot of people thought maybe that was too high for them coming into the college football rankings this week. But this is going to be a pretty big feather in their helmet if they hold on to this thing in a tough place to play on the road.
Well, speaking of holding on, they held Auburn in the third quarter to 25 yards total offense.
That's not going to cut it. Williams shaken up after fighting for extra yardage on that previous play. 2nd down and 7. Again, only a couple of deep balls attempted today.
And one was out of bounds when he threw it.
This is going to be short too, but it's going to be good enough for a 1st down to Will Hastings. And Seth Williams, the leading receiver today, with 11 catches for 83 yards, and there's where he was shaken up. And looks like the left shoulder or arm as it kind of dangled as he came to the sideline. Auburn trying to hustle up here, but now they slow things down.
And
again.
Georgia playing very soft now. They're willing to concede these 5-8 yard passes in front of them right now, at least till they get to the 50-yard line.
And they're there now, but that's it to Schwartz right at the 50. And Devon Wilson made the stop. And Seth Williams heading into the 10th. Clock winding down to 12:45. Got to be some urgency here for Auburn. Eli Stove, the motion man, as the ball just shaded on the dog side of midfield. Nix, play fake, deep middle, got his man. And it's Shedrick Jackson. So they finally got a big play.
And I think that's exactly the type of play that Gus was trying to map out for Jamie at halftime. Those play action passes where they could get some chunks on the play is what he was looking for.
That was a 25-yard chunk there. Gus Malzahn said, we don't care about that stat. We're Auburn. We expect to score. They haven't seen anybody as balanced as us this year. They're not unbalanced yet, but it's getting a little bit better. Stove on the end around. Georgia reads it well, and he's not going to get anything.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean is going to be a star. I'll tell you that right now. Inside linebacker, runs like the wind. One of those big recruits, those recruiting classes. He's right here. Watch him read this and how fast he gets there.
He and Nolan Smith, the 2 true freshmen,
Yes.
2 of the most highly touted linebackers in the country last year.
And you can see why.
Yep.
They don't just give you 5 stars for nothing, do they?
2nd and 9 at the 13. Hastings moves over into the slot. Schwartz, the other slot man for Nix, as we're under 11 minutes, and Auburn's got to keep hustling here. As the fade to the corner, and it's almost intercepted. It's intended for J.J. Wilson, and Eric Stokes had a better play on the ball than the receiver did.
Well, I tell you, the receiver stumbled coming out after the ball was in the air. You can see it. J.J. just says never was able to get into the play. J.J. Walker, who actually played linebacker in the Pac-12, then H-back and now wide receiver, and has not been able to make a difference in this game.
Transferred from Arizona State. They expected him to maybe provide some big plays today. So far, not. 3rd and 9. 2-down territory. Nix throws a little bit low, and he couldn't keep his receiver running. Will Hastings makes the catch, but had to hit the turf to catch it, and it's 4th down.
Well, Will Hastings, before he was injured, was on his way to being a dominant player in this league. You know, he and Jarrett Stidham really were in sync together. And, you know, it just seems the way Hastings runs his route, he needs a rhythm-type thrower with him.
Georgia is #1 in the SEC and #2 in the nation at scoring defense. They've pitched 3 shutouts this year already. They're trying to stop a 4th and 5 right here. Nix slant incomplete. The flag comes in on Stokes.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes. And that time the big body of J.J. Wilson paid him.
Pass interference, number 27 in the defense. Penalty places the ball at the spot of the foul with automatic 1st down.
27 draped all over number 42.
Yep.
And it's 1st and goal, Auburn.
No chance to influence the referees by coming up and waving your arms. The flag was already in the air.
Nix, the throw out in the flat. It's still not a rushing touchdown, but it's an Auburn touchdown to Eli Stove. Tigers finally on the board.
Well, Eli Stove is lined up in the backfield on this. Comes into motion right there, goes across, and the Georgia defense cannot get there in time. A little bit of a pick. You see the pick on the other side of the play. I think it was Cedric Jackson, number 11, that got the pick on the play, but the ball was already in the air, and he was at the line of scrimmage. That would not be called on that play.
Anders Carlson in for the point after. Up and good. So finally in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, Bo Nix gets his team a 12-play, 75-yard drive. Took them 5 minutes, 9 seconds to get it, and they've only got 10 minutes to get 2 more. .10:04 left.
So Gus has to look over at his defense and look at Kevin Steele and go, can you give me a 3 and out? Because that might be our only chance here.
This time he's going to rip it. And caught in the end zone, and Brian Herrion hesitates and then decides to bring it out, and probably shouldn't have, as he got out around the 19-yard line. DeAndre Swift, 2.5 maybe. Second down and 8. Demetrius Robertson going to try that end around again. He's looking for a block, didn't get it. Nice play defensively by Javaris Davis again.
Yeah, I thought Nick Coe did a good job too on the edge, forcing him just a little wider, and then Thomas comes up and cleans it up. One of the things that this defense, especially Kevin Steele defense, has said, those edge guys have to be able to make that running back go a little wider or just stutter a bit so that our safeties can make the play.
Third down and 9, I should say. This would be a big stop for the Tigers. Georgia 3 wide receivers and the tight end Werner down at the bottom of your screen. Jake Fromm. Here comes the heat. Jake's going to go deep and out of bounds. And George Pickens was going to be the intended receiver.
Jake could feel that pass rush. He knew he could not be sacked in this play. He had to get rid of it. Threw it out of bounds. Not a great pass. But I'll tell you, on that play, they went again. And number 23 just didn't keep it on the field with Pickens, giving any chance for the catch.
Georgia's 7th 3 and out today. Wow. You name that, you go, they're ahead by 2 touchdowns. How's that work? Camarda, who's hit a couple of beauties today. This one's going to flutter down to the 30-yard line to Tut. And Tut gets about 12 on the return. So good field position again for Auburn. With 8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in regulation. And they trail 21-7, but there is still hope out there. They got the stop they needed. Kirby Smart, Gus Malzahn, their teams in the 124th meeting, battling it out. Bo Nix, his team trailing by 2 touchdowns. Down the middle is Seth Williams' favorite target. And it's down to the 35.
Well, I'll tell you, since Georgia has started playing zone defense and allowed a little space, it has not worked. They got to go back to man-to-man coverage.
Pick up a 24. And looking for more. The sidearmer out to Williams again. He broke a tackle. Seth Williams down to the 20. And another Auburn first down.
Well, and Eric Stokes, if he doesn't grab the toe of Seth Williams, it's a touchdown. Comes out, blocked, but watch this. The last second he blows it. Maybe better man tackled, but it was in space.
Now it's out to Schwartz in the flat. And Schwartz is to the 10. Auburn's got it working here with 7.5 to go. Second down and a yard. At the 10-yard line. Stack receivers both ways, but the give is to Whitlow. Waits for his blocking. Got it down, first and goal.
The first down play was huge. This time, Prince Tagovailoa comes around the corner and just levels it. The left tackle comes around for the counter OT and opens it up.
Tigers at the Georgia 2. Nix keeps it, dives, touchdown Auburn.
Here we go. These games never end easy, do they?
Five minutes ago, it looked like this thing was over. It's far from.
It's a zone keep. He keeps it. He dives across. Was his knee down before he got across? Did not get a clean look on that one.
Up and good. Auburn takes 68 seconds to go 57 yards in 5 plays. Georgia gives up its first rushing touchdown of the season. And it was big plays to Seth Williams.
Yes, it was. Started out with the zone defense. Bo Nix hits the seam. Then an outside little quick screen that almost broke loose. Seth Williams again, and then Booby with the counter OT down to the goal line. And then he just run the zone keep, and Bo Nix shows why so many people recruiting him. He can move.
First rushing touchdown allowed by Georgia, and it's a quarterback. 21-14. When things looked bleak, nobody left. And now Jordan Hare is rocking. 7 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in regulation. It's 21-14.
You know, we talked about how much Georgia defense substitutes, but the fact that you mentioned before that Auburn has 7 3-and-outs against Georgia means that their defense has only faced 56 plays. So they're fresh here for the end.
Carlson will kick deep, and Herring will let it go. Here we go.
Well, nobody has faced more pressurized situations in college football than number 11 for Georgia.
Comes up to let his lineman know where everybody is. From down the middle, and Eli Wolf, the intended receiver, it went out of his hands. Pretty good coverage by Jeremiah Benson.
Good protection. You know it's going to be man-to-man coverage. Good spot. Perfect throw. Drop ball.
Should have had it.
Absolutely. Tried to catch it with his chest instead of his hands that time.
Or in Wolf's case, pause. 2nd and 10, and with every snap, this place is going to get louder.
Absolutely.
Unless Jake Fromm can quiet him. Corner blitz. Fromm's going to keep it. No gain.
That was a great call by Kevin Steele. The corner blitz forced the give on the play. It was a zone read, but there's nothing he could do. Coming right at him off the slot. An aggressive defensive call. Coming right at his face when he's trying to run, and he had to keep it. He could not hand the ball off.
If Georgia doesn't get this first down, Auburn is going to force a punt. They're going to get the ball back, and they're only going to lose about a minute of time off the clock. 3rd and 10. They're coming again. From late throw, incomplete, broken up by McCreary.
Well, McCreary was the story of the end of the first half, but in the second half, he has made some plays. Again, coming off the edge, Big Cat Bryant was coming in there. The ball was behind, and the official was not going to help out. Big Cat Bryant forces the kind of the spot throw, could not step into it, and McCreary was able to catch up to the throw.
McCreary looked like it might have been shaken up on the play as well, but Camarda now with a punt, and this one is not a very good one, although it's going to take a Georgia roll down around the 27 or 28-yard line. From the 28, Bo Nix fires complete. Schwartz, they wrap him up, but he gets 9 yards. DJ Daniel made the tackle.
Nice comeback route. No back shoulder there. Run him off and come back and catch it.
2nd and short. They'll keep it on the ground to Whitlow, and he's got a big run out to the 45. Another Auburn first down.
I'll tell you, DJ Daniel was lucky he got a hand on his foot there, or Whitlow would be out for another 10 yards. The Georgia defense really reeling right now. They started out playing soft zone. It seems like they cannot get back in sync. And Bo Nix is feeling it.
He sure is. By himself in the backfield until Schwartz comes across. And across again. They fake it to him. Nix loads it and goes back to Schwartz on the sideline. And Schwartz gets up positive yardage again. Probably about 7 or 8 more.
Great awareness from Nix on that one. He's going to go downfield for the big play, but he knew he had Schwartz, who came in with the fake motion as a safety valve, but he went to him at the last second.
Gus Malzahn told us of Bo Nix, he doesn't think anymore, he reacts, and he's reacting perfectly right now. Pickup of 8. Look at what he's done this half. In Georgia territory. Drop ball on the snap. Still loose. And I think Whitlow got on top of it, although Georgia's saying they've got it. I don't know if Bo took his eye off that, or it was a bad snap. And it's Auburn ball.
And it goes from 2nd and 2 now to 3rd and medium.
It was low.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a knuckleball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Whitlow kicked it forward about 3 times before he jumped on it. Got all 3 timeouts. What does he do if he doesn't pick this up? Do they give the ball back to Georgia?
3rd down and 5. Biggest play of the day so far. Again, the snap was a little off. Nix backpedals, throws, incomplete. Closest man was Hastings, but Richard LeCount was actually closer to the football.
And what do you do now? Good blocking that time, picking up the blitz by Booby Whitlow. Picks up the blitz. Whitlow does a nice job of giving Bo time, but nowhere really to throw. I told you the zone is done. Georgia's not going to play any more zone. 3 timeouts left, and he's going for it on 4th down here. I'm surprised.
They're 3 out of 7 to this point of the season.
And he has.
Here we go. 4th and 5. Georgia just brings 4. Nix wanted to get rid of it in a hurry. Now he's going to run it. He's going to get it. First down.
This has shades of that Oregon game, the first game of the year, when Nix made those scrambles on that last drive. He was 4 for 6 and a couple big runs. He had that huge 4th down run against Oregon to get the first down before the throw to Seth Williams.
On 4th and 5, he got 8 on the scramble. First down at the Georgia 42. Georgia going to bring a blitz now. Throws complete to Hastings inside the 40. And we're inside 4 minutes in regulation. This game was 21-0 if you're just joining us.
And Georgia has brought pressure 3, 4, 5 times and not been able to get a free man through. That's good protection up front.
Auburn showed hurry up and then takes its time with a 2nd and 7. Nix deep on the sideline, back shoulder to Williams. Did he catch it? He did.
Well, DJ Daniel was on the coverage right there. Back shoulder. Can't tell if his toes were down there. Oh, yeah. It's going backwards. Was his heel on the line, but his left toe was on the ground.
Video review, it's an incomplete pass. The receiver was not yet controlling the ball when his foot first went out of bounds. Ball placed at the 39-yard line. Will it be 3rd down? For the game clock operator, please put 3-10 on the game clock.
To me, that's why you can't use it as a still frame. It's control. As Gene said, when you control the ball, the ruling was by the replay official that his right heel came down. It's not the toe. When you're going backwards, it's your heel.
I totally agree, Gary. And what John McDade said, too, as well, is the ball was moving, so they did not deem that he had stuck that possession, and I agree with that as well. So when possession occurred, the heel then is out in the white, and I believe that is the reason why he overturned that to incomplete.
Wow, how close. And now we got 3rd and 7.
With 3:10 remaining in regulation. Nonetheless, Seth Williams has 13 catches for 121 yards so far. That would have been a 17-yard completion. Kirby running up and down that sideline to get his defense where he wants them. Well, he wants it at the 39. 3rd and 7. Schwartz in motion. They've thrown to him out in the flat a couple times on this drive. Nix, quarterback draw. Going to be short. 4th down and 2.
Boy, and that play too. Wide open, Anthony Schwartz coming underneath. Watch him come underneath, right in the middle of the field. Had it, but as Brad said, the quarterback was running with it.
Remember, they picked up a 4th and 5 earlier on this drive. Here's another one, 4th down and 2.
Going to do the quick huddle.
That huddle's only about 2 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Up they come. Nix is going to be under center. That's a rarity. He fakes it, bootleg, throws in the flat, in and out of the hands of Harold Joyner, incomplete.
Bad throw. He made all those great plays, and then he's got a layup and doesn't make the layup.
So they got one 4th down. They didn't get that one. And depending on what Georgia can do on offense, that might seal it. But we still got 2:24 to watch.
Joyner comes sliding out right into the flat, right out there with the fake. He's got a layup to him. Behind him, and it's for a running back, a tough catch for a running back. Gets on him fast, it's behind him, and can't make the play.
Right over his shoulder.
Yep. Remember, 3 timeouts left. Kirby didn't defend it, but they didn't throw it, and you can see the frustration.
On the defense, now they're back out there to try to see if they can stop Georgia. Brian Harriet, who was shaken up earlier, is in the backfield behind Fromm. Everybody bunched in tight as far as receivers. And it's Harriet on the carry, and he didn't get anything. Might have gotten a yard.
Yeah. When Auburn knows you're going to run, it doesn't matter how big your offensive line is. Sometimes those guys up front and the safeties and the corners, just no space.
Auburn takes a timeout at 2:19. There's that big defensive front that's been so stout against everybody, including Georgia today. 2nd down and 9. And DeAndre Swift in the backfield. That's Robertson in motion. And it's DeAndre Swift. Falls forward for about 4. And Auburn takes its 2nd timeout. With 2:16 remaining, the drama builds at Jordan Hare. Third and 5. Throws in the flat to DeAndre Swift. Can he make anybody miss? No. Not that time. Javaris Davis. How many open field tackles has that guy made today?
Yeah, but that was, he had triangulation working here. He had help inside, and he knew that all he had to do was stay outside, and Tut was inside to help. And how about this Auburn defense? That's their 9th 3-and-out in the football game to give them a chance.
Camarda, high-hanging kick is going to sail out of bounds. Let's see where they spot this thing.
It's coming up.
It's coming up past the 25 somewhere. And they're still walking it off. 31-yard line, it looks like.
No. He's going to move it back. The referee put his hand down, and the field judge didn't see him. He kept moving. They're going to move it back.
Here we go. Auburn's got it again. 2:03 to go. Nix. Last pass was a bad one. This one's not very good either. Over Hastings' hands. Maybe a taller receiver would have had it. I don't know. Yeah, that was a tough one for anybody.
I actually thought Wyatt got into his vision that time. Devontae Wyatt, number 95. He had to get it over the outstretched arms.
Remember, Auburn's out of timeouts. First downs will stop the clock momentarily, and getting out of bounds will do likewise. We're under 2 minutes. Nix, there's a low snap from center. Again, he's in trouble. Got away from one man. 3 Georgia Bulldogs giving chase. He throws a completion. Nope, it's out of bounds. Booby Whitlow caught it, but he was out of bounds.
That was a big escape by Nix that time. Spins away from Olajari on the play, and watch the escape.
Almost got face masked. Turned around and hit Whitlow, but Whitlow's foot was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Again, 1 sack in the game, and that was from a blitz look. The front four for Georgia has not been able to come up with a sack in the game.
They try to create havoc plays is what Kirby Smart calls them, and they haven't had many. 3rd and 10. Nix over the middle, completes it. Nope, dropped it. Seth Williams had it in his hands, and it's 4th down.
Boy, that secondary going to this ball when it was completed, they went right for the ball, and that's not going to count as a havoc play, but it should, because LeCount and Stevenson just freed up that ball.
Actually, broken up passes do count.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, wow, that was beautiful.
Tyreek Stevenson, Richard LeCount.
Here we go.
4th down. If Georgia stops this, it's ball game. Set to fire again, or will he? He's not going to get it off. He's sacked that time by Trayvon Walker. They finally get home, and their coach hits the turf in celebration on the sideline.
We kept waiting for that front four to make a play. This time they land up 3, but they stunted. Brought one linebacker on the play, and Walker finally gets there. 3 down linemen, but watch the stunt. At the end, from the outside, Adam Anderson comes in to make it 4, and then the sack from the backside.
Who figures that a freshman who's never even been to Jordan-Hare Stadium would end the game for Georgia?
And, oh, by the way, one of those big recruits, another 5-star true freshman to end it.
Jake Fromm will take a knee. Jake Fromm's about to be 3-1 in his career against the Auburn Tigers. And as the clock ticks down,
it'll be their 3rd consecutive trip to Atlanta.
How about that?
Yep. And they'll stay at number 4 too.
Bo Nix did everything he could. 30 out of 50 for 245 yards.
I know the one he'd like to have back. I know exactly what he's thinking.
Yep. He said to us, when you watch film, sometimes you watch too much and you can get too down on yourself.
There's always a play. I could have done this, I could have done that. Bo, don't worry about it. There'll be many more, but we all battle that one extra play we could have done. He was magnificent this second half, wasn't he?
He was. And there's the coach, and there's how happy he was. Kirby Smart.
Boy, it looked like it was going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. It looks like it's going to be a cakewalk, and all of a sudden you're hanging on for dear life.
I got a feeling Chamberlain Smith's going to get a game ball from Georgia. She did her job. As Gary said, Georgia did its job. Big win as the Dogs hold on to win 21-14, and they are the SEC East champions again. And a 3rd straight trip to Atlanta to play for all the SEC marbles. So they got one more SEC obstacle in their way. That's next week, and there, Jake Fromm. That was probably his little brother.
It was, yep.
His brother plays here at Auburn. And a tough finish for Bo Nix, but what a gutty performance. There's how it looks. That'll do it from the East. And Georgia, the SEC East champion with the winning coach, is Jamie.
Coach, you took a tumble there when you celebrated. You feeling all right?
Feel great. Couldn't feel better.
What statement did your defense just make to end that game?
Well, we made a statement that we didn't stop them the last 2 or 3 drives. I mean, you got to finish teams off. Played really well early and lost our composure and didn't finish the way we needed to.
Who stepped up for you today?
Well, Trayvon Walker made some big plays at the end. A lot of these young kids are starting to grow up. We got to continue to grow. We got to continue to get better. We got to make plays when we get a chance on offense.
They call this the oldest rivalry for a reason. What does it feel like to get this win at Auburn when it challenged you just a couple years ago here?
Look, guys, that team is a really good football team. And you're playing them at their place, one of the toughest places to play in the country. Got a lot of respect for their football team and a lot of respect for ours.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Quite a thriller. Started with War Eagle. It's going to end with Go Dogs. 21-14 is the final from Jordan Hare in Auburn, Alabama. For Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from Auburn. 21-14. The Deep South's oldest rivalry gave us another dandy. The college football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage is up next after these messages. So long from the Plains.